The movie opens on a serene Texas farm, where Christy Beam tends to the flowers while her 3 daughters, Abby, Anna, and Adeline, play outside. Moments later, she notices that their church dresses are getting dirty, and she playfully scolds them before calling to her husband, Kevin Beam, to get ready for church. Kevin changes quickly by the truck as the family prepares to leave. That morning, they attended their usual Sunday service where the pastor spoke to them about faith. The service is followed by the family hosting the church's monthly picnic at their home, surrounded by friends and community members. That night, Christy visits each of her daughters' room to ask about their prayer points. While Abby wishes to make the Fort Worth All-Star team, Adeline tells her mother that she hopes to be older than her siblings, and Anna said she prays for the success of her father's business. Later that night, Anna suddenly starts vomiting. When the parents reach her room, Christy said she suspects it might be food-related, but Kevin suggests that they take her to the doctor in the morning. In the kitchen later that night, the couple discusses Anna's condition and their worries. Christy was uneasy about Kevin's business situation, though he reassures her that everything will be fine. The next day, they drive to a top gastroenterologist in Fort Worth, hoping to find answers to their questions about their child. This will be their 3rd doctor visit, yet the results are no different. Anna's stomach continues to bloat, but the doctor concludes it's just lactose intolerance. This made Christy skeptical and frustrated by the lack of a real diagnosis. Back home that evening, during dinner, the family hesitantly agrees to cut pizza from their meals until Anna is also well enough to eat with them. But that night, Anna wakes in excruciating pain. So, Christy and Kevin hurriedly rush her to the hospital, leaving the other girls in the care of one of their family friends. At the emergency room, the attending doctor attributes the child's symptoms to acid reflux. But Christy pushes back and desperately asks for another doctor, as she asks them to take her daughter's suffering seriously. Her persistence eventually forces the medical team to call for a pediatrician. After further tests, the pediatrician diagnoses Anna with abdominal obstruction. He warns that without immediate surgery, Anna won't survive. So, Anna is immediately prepped for the surgery as the nurses insert tubes while she cries out in fear. Christy also cries as she watches helplessly, while Kevin holds Anna steady. During the emergency surgery, Christy and Kevin wait anxiously, and they are joined by Pastor Scott, who stays with the other children. After the surgery, the pediatrician informs them that while the operation was successful, a more alarming issue has emerged. They've discovered that Anna is suffering from intestinal motility disorder, a rare and chronic condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the digestive system. Anna's diagnosis is dire as the doctor explains that her body can no longer process food. Although Kevin understands the full implications, Christy, still in disbelief, struggles to accept it. The doctor then explains that she'll eventually need a gastrostomy tube, an invasive and often unreliable solution for long-term survival. So, he recommends that they see a very busy specialist in Boston. The news shatters Christy. But despite her heartbreak, she immediately begins managing Anna's complex care, and she even develops a detailed schedule for medications and feedings. However, Anna's condition worsens and her stomach continues to swell. She also starts losing energy, and she has to feed through a gastric tube. In school, Anna becomes isolated from her old life, and she can only watch from a distance as her friends play basketball. When a boy she likes, Billy, stops by to talk, she tries to walk away, embarrassed by her appearance. But Billy stays with her, and this momentarily lifts her spirits. Meanwhile, Christy desperately tries to reach Dr. Nurko, the renowned Boston specialist. But despite her numerous calls, she's unable to secure an appointment. Frustrated, she breaks down and even starts to question her faith. On the other hand, Kevin tries to bring joy into the home by surprising Anna with a dog. The gesture works briefly, but it only adds to Christy's stress. She is overwhelmed that night as she argues with Kevin, pointing out their dwindling savings and growing responsibilities. Although Kevin insists that their faith will carry them, Christy feels hers was slipping away fast. After a church service one day, some members cruelly suggest to Christy that maybe unconfessed sin in their home is preventing Anna's healing. This accusation drives a deeper wedge between Christy and Kevin as their arguments at home increase. Witnessing these increasing arguments between her parents, Anna quietly blames herself for the growing tension. One night, while talking to her eldest daughter, Abby suddenly asks if Anna is going to die. Christy was surprised at the question, and she couldn't answer. But this prompts something in her, and with great urgency, she tells Kevin that she's taking Anna to Boston, with or without an appointment. Although Kevin protests the decision, Christy is resolute. She sees her daughter wasting away and refuses to wait any longer. Days later, the two eventually travel to Boston as Christy clings to the last bit of hope. At the hospital, she pleads with the receptionist to let them see Dr. Nurko. She even tells her about all of Anna's medical history, her treatments, and the unrelenting symptoms. But the policy at the hospital is firm. So, she'd have to join the 9-month waiting list. This makes Christy break down, but the receptionist tells her that she couldn't help any further even if she wanted to. Accepting defeat, Christy takes Anna to a nearby restaurant. As they sit, Anna accidentally spills her drink on the table, and a kind waitress named Angela immediately comes to help clean up. She notices Anna's distended stomach and gently asks where they're from. They tell her that they've come all the way from Texas to seek medical care. On hearing this, Angela immediately offers to show them around Boston. This eventually turns out to be a small gesture that offers a spark of kindness in their low time. Although she is initially uncertain, Christy eventually agrees to let Angela show them around Boston after Anna pleads with her. The next day, they meet Angela, who begins their tour with a visit to the aquarium. Christy remains cautious about trusting a stranger, but watching Anna smile again makes the risk seem worthwhile. As they travel, Angela points out landmarks to them, including Fenway Park and the home of a local sports icon. At the aquarium, Anna rediscovers a joy she hasn't felt since her illness began. Later, they stop at an art exhibit, where Anna becomes fixated on a particular painting. In that quiet moment, Christy receives a phone call that tells her that there's an opening with Dr. Nurko the next morning. The following day, at the hospital, Anna undergoes a series of tests before finally meeting Dr. Nurko. He quickly builds a rapport with her, putting her at ease as he begins his examination. Afterward, he explains to Christy that he wants to perform an internal examination using a camera while Anna is under anesthesia. Once complete, he confirms the severity of Anna's condition and also explains the extent of her pain. Although there's no cure for such a condition, Dr. Nurko proposes a management plan. He explains that their facility is one of the few approved to distribute an experimental FDA-regulated medication. This drug could allow Anna to digest food on her own and eliminate the feeding tubes. However, the treatment comes with significant risks, including potential side effects like headaches, swelling, and even heart complications. The medication also requires routine monitoring every 6 weeks. When they eventually return home, Christy calculates the mounting costs of Anna's ongoing treatment, as she is concerned about how they will be able to afford it. But Kevin remained optimistic, assuring her they'll find a way. However, Christy demands a real plan as she confesses to him that her faith is faltering. That was when Kevin tells her that although he won't be able to fix her belief, he promises to do whatever it takes to support Anna. The next day, Christy visits Pastor Scott, who apologizes for the judgmental comments made by some members. Still, Christy makes it clear that she has no plans to return to church just yet, and Pastor Scott suspects that she has deeper reasons for this decision. So, Christy confesses her confusion and anger toward God as she questions why Anna must endure so much pain. Though Pastor Scott doesn't have the answers, he shares that in his own struggles, turning toward God brought him the only sense of peace he had ever known. Weeks pass and Christy and Anna start to attend routine checkups in Boston and continue spending time with Angela. Back home, Kevin steps in to manage the household, even selling his motorcycle to help cover their expenses. At one of the follow-ups, Dr. Nurko informs them that Anna is undergoing additional tests. When Christy asks if something is wrong, the doctor explains that Anna is experiencing flare-ups, and more troubling is the fact that she is not responding to the treatment as they had hoped. In the meantime, Anna meets Haley, another young patient undergoing treatment at the same hospital. The two quickly bond, and they share stories about their families and their illness. Haley reveals she has bone cancer and asks Anna about her own fears. When Christy walks in, she overhears Anna admit that, at times, she does fear dying. Later on, Haley tells her father, Ben, about Anna and tells him that Anna claims that although she sometimes worries about dying, she is not afraid, because God is always with her and that she will go to heaven when she dies. Troubled by the remark, Ben confronts Christy and expresses his concern that Anna might be giving Haley false hope. Christy, understanding the delicate emotional issue at hand, assures him she will be cautious. Meanwhile, back at home, Kevin finds his daughter Abigail alone in the sitting room. She appears quiet and withdrawn, but when he asks if anything is wrong, she brushes it off. Eventually, he finds out that she had missed her all-star tryouts because Kevin forgot, as he had been overwhelmed by the chaos surrounding Anna's condition. Although Kevin tries to make amends, Abby only mentions how hard things have been since her mother had left with Anna. The stress of the situation is beginning to affect the entire family. That night, Kevin sits alone in his room, consumed by total helplessness. In the meantime, Anna, still in pain and emotionally exhausted, rejects every attempt Christy makes to comfort her. She compares her situation to Haley's, who got to go home, and tells her mom that she wants to leave as well. In the end, Anna finally breaks down and admits she wants to die. Christy is devastated by those words and she tries to reassure her daughter, but Anna insists that the pain is endless and unbearable. Christy was lost for words as she was forced to confront the reality of her daughter's suffering. Back in Texas, Kevin takes the girls to the airport to buy a ticket for a flight to Boston. However, Kevin's credit cards decline one by one, a sign of their growing financial strain. The situation grows more tense when Adeline asks what if Anna dies before they arrive. Kevin can only respond with hope. However, the attendant quickly picks up on this and moments later, he informs them that the computer system has crashed. So, he instead issued them the tickets and told Kevin that the fee will be charged to his account when the system comes back on. That morning at the hospital, Anna's condition grew worse. She refuses to even brush her teeth and shower. While feeling desperate and out of options, Christy gets a call from Kevin. She then gives the phone to Anna, and her dad asks why she doesn't want to shower that morning. Just when Anna expresses her concerns as to how he knew that, Kevin and the girls surprise her by walking into the room. Anna's mood immediately lifts as they all enjoy a moment of family togetherness. When Anna is finally cleared for discharge, she jokes with Dr. Nurko about the hospital's tradition of escorting patients out in wheelchairs. So Dr. Nurko plays along, even allowing Anna to push him out instead. As they part ways, he warns Christy that post-treatment depression is a common issue among children with chronic illness. He urges her to spend more quality time with Anna, knowing deep down that her time may be limited. At home, Christy begins seeking help from a child psychologist, hoping to support Anna emotionally through her ongoing condition. Meanwhile, Anna grows restless as she watches the outside world from the doorway. Noticing this, her sister Abby invites her to play, and for the first time in a while, Anna agrees. The two head out to play in the yard as they relive a small piece of their former normal life. When the ball rolls near an old tree, Abby asks Anna if she would want to climb it, just like they used to. Though hesitant at first, Anna agrees, and with Abby's help, she slowly makes her way up the tree. Moments after they settle on a branch, it suddenly begins to crack under their weight. Abby quickly urges Anna to get off. But as she does, the weakened branch breaks, and Anna falls into the hollow interior of the tree. She falls to the bottom, unconscious, while Abby runs screaming for help. Emergency responders quickly arrive on the scene, and as the tree is rotten from the inside, it poses a risk to any external rescue attempt. So, the rescue team decides to climb from above instead. Not knowing what else to do, Christy resorted to prayers, and she was soon joined by her family and other community people. Eventually, the rescuers managed to rescue Anna. Although she was still breathing, she remained unconscious and covered in dirt. The helicopter immediately rushes her to the hospital where the doctors thoroughly examine her. To everyone's shock, Anna has no broken bones, no bruising, no internal injuries, and no neurological damage. By all physical accounts, she is perfectly fine and she is discharged home in a few days. In the days that follow, Anna recovers rapidly. But Christy also notices something unusual. Anna no longer seems to be in pain. So, Kevin tells her that it may just be a good day for her, although Christy suspects that there's something more. Days later, Anna's bloated stomach now appears to have returned to its normal size. Christy calls Kevin in disbelief to tell him the news. That was when Anna calmly reassures them that everything is fine. When they asked why, she explains something that shocks them both. She tells them that during her fall, she had had an out-of-body experience. She recalls touching a white butterfly before suddenly being transported to a peaceful place, what she describes as heaven. There, she met God and asked him to stay. But God told her it wasn't her time yet, and that she would be healed if she returned. And so she did. When Christy asks if Anna has shared this with anyone else, Anna says no. She isn't concerned whether others believe her or not. Her focus is on the peace she found and the healing she feels. Christy later visits Dr. Nurko, who is left speechless. He tells her that Anna is now completely asymptomatic. There are no medical explanations and all tests confirm what seems impossible. Anna is healed. Christy is stunned by Anna's sudden recovery and asks how it could be possible. Dr. Nurko speculates that the impact to her head may have somehow reset her nervous system, but even he can't explain how a fall from such a height resulted in no injuries, only healing. With no scientific answer, he removes his Elmo tie, a symbol of hope he had worn daily until his patients improved. He gives it to Christy, as he fully acknowledges that Anna is finally better. As Christy and Anna say goodbye to Angela and return home, word of the miracle spreads. At the Boston Globe, Ben, who is a reporter, learns of Anna's recovery while gazing at photos of his late daughter, Haley. In the meantime, Christy is invited to address the church congregation and media crews to share her renewed faith and testimony of her daughter's healing. As she talked, she recalled the quiet acts that had supported them. Billy's kindness to Anna, Angela rearranging her schedule to guide them through Boston, the airport agent who faked a system crash to get them tickets, the receptionist who broke protocol to tell Dr. Nurko about Anna, and her friend who rushed to help out with the other kids as they went to the hospital despite being a new mother herself. In the end, Christy assures anyone feeling abandoned that they are not alone. But not everyone is convinced about the testimony, and soon, a church member accuses her of exaggerating Anna's illness just to gain attention. Before Christy can respond, Ben rises and defends her. He testifies that Anna was truly dying. Though he was never religious, his daughter's final days were transformed because of Anna. Haley had found peace, love, and faith through her. The room eventually erupts into an applause and Christy speaks with Ben afterward, grateful for his support and expressing her condolences. As the crowd disperses, the Beam family heads home. At the end of the movie, they gather around the table once more, sharing pizza and laughter, grateful, healed, and together again. We also see the real-life photos of the family members. And that was the story of the movie, Miracles from Heaven. If you enjoy this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.